Doesn't feel like winter, does it? But those are the effects of global warming, which is not a nice thing because the earth is getting hotter and drier. What are you doing about reducing our impact on the weather and global warming? Now, it's July, which means officially we are entering our summer. Oh, yes. I know July historically is the coldest month, but believe it or not, our winter solstice is somewhere between the 20th and the 22nd of June. I didn't check which date it was on today. For those who don't know what the solstice is, it means it's when the sun reaches its northernmost latitude, which means in the northern hemisphere, which is why they have summer and we have winter. So it's reached the highest point in the northern hemisphere, and now it's making its way back down to the south. That's why in the south we call it winter solstice, and in the north they'll call it summer solstice. And then next year, or is it in December, I can't quite remember, somewhere around there, we'll have our summer solstice when the sun reaches its southernmost point in the southern hemisphere. Now, we have somebody here with us today who is a familiar person, and we also are very privileged to have my learned friend. I believe that's what advocates are referred to as, my learned friend. Fati Manamela from the Gauteng Consumer Affairs Department. Welcome to Kofifi once again.
Thanks, Rose, and thanks to your audience, people who are listening to Kofifi FM. It's a pleasure for me to be here. And it's a privilege.
I know you like coming here. I know you just love the Kofifi people. Now, today we're going to speak about something that's, I think, probably one of the most important things we can talk about, because there are two costs that most households will enter into. One is purchasing a home. Two is purchasing a car.
Yeah.
Now, we're going to talk about cars this time.
Yeah.
And if we have time, we're also going to go into that furniture one as well that we were talking about. And we're hoping pretty soon we'll be talking about the house as well.
Yeah.
But today, we're going to be talking about cars. Now, my knowledge of cars is that I start the car and I drive it. Mm-hmm. The closest I understand is when the tire goes flat or the petrol is finished.
Yeah.
And if I see steam rising, it's something to do with the radiator. And then it ends there.
Yeah.
I have no knowledge. But now today we're going to be talking about warranties and all those things. And to kick off the discussion, maybe we need to start by first... We've acquired a lot of new listeners. Mm-hmm. So, Advocate Fati Manamela.
Fati's fine, Rose.
Advocate, you worked for it. I mean, we've got people that claim titles that didn't work for it, you know. So let's acknowledge those who've worked for it. And becoming an advocate is not easy.
Yeah.
Before we start today's discussion, please explain to the Kofifi community, what is Gauteng Consumer Affairs? What does it do? What is your mandate?
Yeah. Right. Thanks, Rose, and thanks to listeners. Gauteng Consumer Affairs Office, it's an entity within the Department of Economic Development. We have now acquired a longer name because now MEC actually also is responsible for conservation, agriculture, and rural development.
Oh, yes. You're the department whose name is actually a paragraph.
Exactly, yeah. But we are in this part of economic development as Consumer Affairs. We derive our mandate from the Consumer Affairs and Fair Business Practice Act. It was passed some time back, I think in 1997. And lately now we have also been given another mandate in terms of the Consumer Protection Act. Which was, I think, promulgated somewhere 2011, but it was passed in 2008. I think the implementation date was 2011. So we have that mandate also to deal with issues pertaining to prohibited conduct in terms of what the Consumer Protection Act says. But in terms of our provincial legislation, we deal with issues pertaining to unfair business practices. And it's a very wide, definition of what unfair business practices could be. It starts from, buying, a piece of furniture up to probably also, consulting with an attorney or maybe with a doctor. This as wide as it actually
so
can go to.
Basically anything where I go for a service.
Exactly. Where you buy a service or
There's
goods.
an exchange.
Yeah, and then where there is an direct or indirect, potential of actually you as a consumer being unfairly, prejudiced by that service or goods, that would fit within the definition of unfair business practice. So it's any practice that has got the likelihood, directly or indirectly, to affect, the consumer unfairly, and also to his detriment or to his prejudice. So it's a very wide definition. That's why I'm saying it breaks in everything that would actually be seen as unfair or as prejudicial to a consumer in respect of goods or services that he or she may have actually purchased.
Secondly, now I know you're an advocate, and I'm presuming that there are other people from your profession that work in this. Now, we know the legal profession is charging very high fees. How much does the service cost me?
Well, obviously, that is a definition I gave in respect of unfair
Right.
business practice. But you have authorities or competent authorities that will regulate the legal profession, which is the law society. And I think that's unfairness part of it, of that definition being so wide. And I know at some point people were saying it's unconstitutional and it could be a challenge.
No, I'm saying if I come to Gauteng Consumer
No, it's a
Affairs,
free service. It's a free service because it's a government
100%.
service. Yeah, 100% free. We don't pay a thing. We would assist you up until we refer a matter to a Consumer Affairs Court, which is a special court that deals with consumer complaints. You get represented by a consumer protector, who would actually, litigate.
And you're a consumer protector.
Well, I used to be, I think a couple of years
now
ago.
you're elevated now. You're in charge of the protectors
I'm actually
now.
managing the consumer protector. I spent a good 7 years, of my time doing, consumer protection as a consumer protector.
And that's that person that's going to represent me in this court, I'm not going to pay.
You're not going to pay his employee. The current one is a she. She's employed by the office, by the department, and then she renders those services free of charge. So there's no cent that you actually have got to pay.
Absolutely nothing.
Nothing.
Until the resolution of
Until
the
the
issue.
matter gets resolved or gets referred to a competent authority that could best, be positioned to actually deal with that matter. But we'll handle your complaint until such time as, one, it's either resolved, it's properly facilitated for a possible resolution, or it's closed on the basis that probably it's not valid or it's referred to a competent authority. And referral means, and I always say this way, it must be an effective and efficient referral. You don't just say to a person, go to community ombuds schemes. You don't know where that office is.
But I also have to start all over again.
You have to start all over again, because what we're trying to prevent as government, we have to make sure that you don't, send, a consumer from one pillar to the other. An effective referral would be a correspondence that I would send on your behalf to this competent authority that has got good working relationships with us, because we are a general office of consumer complaints. So we rake in everything. We can clear other cases that we think could actually be best dealt with by a particular competent authority. But as I've said, an effective and efficient referral is when you send out a correspondence, you pick up a phone, you talk to the person on the other side. I've got Rosemary here, she's got this complaint. Are you able to assist? Can I send it? Where are you? Or I'll send the correspondence direct to those people, so that at least when they receive it, it carries some,
some
gravity and some weight. So that's efficient and effective referral. So we don't have to just send you to go to community onboard schemes. You don't even know. We probably even do not know where they are located. So we can't send it to.
I mean, as a layperson, we don't even know that these things exist.
Exactly.
But now we know that there's the Gauteng Consumer Affairs.
Yeah.
And I'm so glad to hear that it's free and that all our affairs can be lodged in one place,
Yeah.
one-stop shopping.
Exactly.
Like that. Now, let's get to this car business.
Yeah.
Now, people buy new cars, people buy second-hand cars or third or fourth-hand cars, but, you know, we buy cars. And I want us to explain the difference between a motor plan, a warranty, and what's the other one? The maintenance plan. A maintenance plan and motor plan, are they the same? I don't know.
Yeah,
that's why I'm asking you now. Because there's a warranty, and then you get motor plans and maintenance plans.
Yeah.
And then you get people that buy new cars and have problems with new cars. Like, and I think I can say this freely on air,
Yeah.
the Ford issue of cars
The Cougar issue.
combusting.
Burst into flames.
Yeah, I mean, spontaneous combustion.
Yeah.
But then we also had, and this one not many people knew about, of Subaru, the Outback, of the steering wheel mechanism as well, the way there was a recall.
Yeah.
Now, what is a motor plan / maintenance plan, and what is a warranty?
I think it's basically on the same thing. A maintenance plan or a motor plan, it's some kind of a convenience that you actually get with the purchase of a new car. That is why they will link it up to, you know, a couple of kilometers. Sometimes they'll say you'll enjoy this motor plan for a period of 12 months or 3 years, or for a period within which you would reach a particular kilometry range, whichever comes first. And what they say is that for your routine service, if the brake pads are finished, if the car needs some service in respect of, you know, oil exchange or plugs and whatever and all that, then you would come to the dealership and they will do it for free, in inverted commas. But remember,
I like the fact that you say in inverted commas. I presume you're going to explain why you put it in inverted commas.
I think the fee is actually built into.
It's built into the
I
cost.
think it's built into the cost.
There's nothing that's for free.
For the duration, there's nothing for free. For the duration of, you know, the kilometers that they would have actually, you know, indicated, or for a number of years that you would actually, you know, be allowed to actually bring the car in for routine service. You'd remember it will actually exclude certain other things that generally would not be serviced routinely, i.e., you know, your normal wear and tear of your tires and all that. You can't get a replacement of new tires and all that. You have to purchase them. But maintenance plan, motor plan, for me, it's one and the same thing. Because after a period of time, depending on the contract that you have actually signed, it will lapse. And then the routine service that you would actually enjoy from that dealership or any other dealership would come with a cost that you will have to actually pay.
Then what is a warranty?
A warranty, it's a sort of a guarantee. The manufacturer warrants that the car that you have bought is of good value, it's safe, and is of good quality. And it can perform the function of a car. Driving on a daily basis. And not a donkey.
Or a lemon.
So the manufacturer warrants that this car is new and it will perform as new. Whatever defect that you may actually experience in respect of this car, because nothing is perfect, we warrant that if it actually happens, we will do it free of charge.
Let's go back to the new car. Now, when I buy a new car, Fati, I'm presuming that nothing is going to go wrong.
Yeah, it's free of defects.
I mean, it's brand new. I'm the first owner. And what can go wrong?
Yeah.
And yet, things do go wrong. Now, in the case, for example, of the spontaneous combusting Ford Cougars, now, what happened there in terms of the warranty? Do I get a new vehicle? Because I've read a lot of cases of people saying they bought a new vehicle and they had some of the problems they have had is technical malfunctions, heating and ventilation system malfunction, transmission problems, premature brake wear, and steering mechanisms. But when I encountered these problems, this is a brand new car. Can I say, I don't want you to repair that, but I want you to replace the vehicle?
Sure. Even though the Consumer Protection Act sort of gives some kind of, options that are available in respect of, instances where there are defects. There are 3 R's. It's repair if it's repairable. It's replace if that part can be replaced or is replaceable. And the last one is refund. So it's those 3 R's. So you may not immediately say, I don't want the car because maybe there's a malfunction in respect of maybe a door handle or maybe something that could actually be repaired.
That's minor.
It will be in extreme cases where you have gone through those stages and the car cannot actually, perform the function for which it was actually manufactured. That the manufacturer who has transferred that warranty to the dealership, where now the dealership also transfers it to the buyer, the consumer, would have no option but to actually replace. But as I've indicated, you have those 3 options in terms of, it's something that you could actually replace. Maybe it's just a small little bolt that could actually be, replaced with another, and then the car would actually perform, normally. Defects that create a lot of imperfections in respect of the motor vehicle that you may have actually purchased are the ones that would actually entitle you to actually have an exchange in respect to a motor vehicle, because probably the car doesn't perform as it was supposed
but
to.
But who determines that now? That it's a replace rather than repair. Who determines that?
Well, obviously it will be the dealership, because remember the dealership purchases from the retailer or the manufacturer.
Right.
Purchases from the manufacturer, it gets to the shop floor, it gets transferred to the consumer. So obviously your first port of call is motor dealer XYZ. So you go there, they've got the technical people that could actually, diagnose the problem. They have got a direct, link with the manufacturer who could actually sort of give a report. Generally, you would find that they'll do a diagnostic test, check the car if it's capable of actually performing as it was actually manufactured, for consumption by consumers. And they will provide a report that would either say, that part is replaceable. Probably it's a gearbox. I'm just making an example. You can replace a gearbox. You fit a brand new one and the car would actually drive. But if the car is so imperfect, so it's got so much defects that it cannot actually be said to be rendering the services for which it was actually intended, then that car should actually be replaced. So it's entire value chain. Obviously, as I've indicated, it will be the dealership, and the dealership will get into contact with the manufacturer. You remember at some point there were call-ups or callbacks of motor vehicles where the seat belt was not properly fitted, or it was, locking itself up, and then you can't unlock it when you want to get out of the car. So those callbacks are that kind of a gesture actually, bestows upon the manufacturer goodwill of actually saying, bring the cars back. We have detected this problem. This badge that was manufactured in August has got this problem, has got this defect. Bring it back. They don't say, bring the cars and we'll replace them. They say, bring it back so that we must fix the safety belt. And then we'll take them back. So it will depend on the severity of each case that actually presents itself. If it's a major defect that renders the car incapable of performing the function for which it was actually intended or manufactured, then that car would actually be replaced.
Now, if we've reached that stage where it's been determined that the car should be replaced, can I, as the consumer, say, actually, I don't want it replaced, give me back my money? Do I have the option to exercise that now?
Reasonably. Reasonable. Probably if you don't have any...
But
what is
look,
the right
look,
way
I'll
to-
say I've lost faith in
you
your
don't have
brand.
faith anymore
Yeah.
into the brand. I think that is actually it's doable. But you know, every situation will be detected to by its own merits. And then if you put up a very strong case to say, I don't want car Y any longer, I would rather go next door and buy another car. I think the consumer is protected under law to actually, go that route.
Okay, and if the car dealership is reluctant, I can always come to Gauteng Consumer Affairs.
Yeah, we have had instances, maybe to sort of go to the extremes, where a car had actually clocked something like 80,000 kilometers, and then that car was actually replaced.
Wow.
Because there has been a repetitive
okay.
repairs on the vehicle, and every time it gets repaired, it gives another problem. Every time that part actually gets repaired, it gives another problem.
Okay.
And then the contract was actually ultimately cancelled, and the person,
and this
got
is the
another
case
car.
that your
That's the car
office
that we
dealt
actually
with.
dealt with, in the past. Yeah.
Now, I know I'm putting you on the spot on this particular one, but I'll take my chances. I know it's opportunistic.
Yeah.
Now, in the case of the Ford Cougar with the spontaneous combustion, I didn't hear them recalling Ford Cougars.
I think they were recalled.
I'm saying I didn't hear.
Yeah.
Do
You
know?
didn't hear?
No. Maybe
Yeah.
after a while, because I was hearing that Ford isn't manning up and stuff like that.
Yeah.
What do you know? What eventually happened there?
I think they were recalled. Even a few other cars were recalled. Your sedans, and even the Mercedes-Benz. Mercedes-Benz was recalled.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and a few other cars were actually recalled, because one of the responsibility of the National Consumer Commission is to sort of regulate the market and check if things actually comply with the act, and in respect of products that are in the market that are being sold to people. And they could actually market conduct. They could actually recall certain products that are not safe for human consumption, or that could actually pose danger to consumers and all that. So it wasn't actually only Ford. It was even Mercedes-Benz and other
like
cars
I
were
said,
actually recalled.
I've discovered that Subaru as well, their steering mechanism, it was this year for the Outback.
Yeah. Recalls are actually
They're
been
quite
done.
common.
Yeah, they're quite common, and
Okay.
then for one, and in fact they must actually happen at the instance of the manufacturer himself, so that you don't have to wait for the National Consumer Commissioner to say we have identified certain problem in respect of other cars, and then they have got to be recalled. It must be something that it happens voluntarily, because one, you guarantee safety of products, value, and the quality. So business doesn't open for the intention of actually providing bad service. You sell products to people so that they must enjoy their product,
So they can come back for
so that they can come back. Otherwise, why would you exist as business? Business exists solely to actually create that element of convenience and to generate profits and all that, and then your customers should be happy. So it must happen at the instance of the manufacturer itself, to say, we have detected this problem, please bring these cars, and then let's deal with them.
Okay, now we've gone through the new cars. Let's go to this one. That's, I think, the big bone of contention. Second-hand, or let me say used vehicles. Pre-owned vehicles, as they politically correctly called nowadays, pre-owned vehicles. Now, here, it's, how do I put it? Here, unless you're a mechanic, you can be sold a lemon. And what is it that I must look for in my warranty?
Yeah.
What must be in the warranty when I buy a pre-owned car?
Yeah. Remember, these are pre-owned cars. They are used vehicles. How many times they have been used,
You
do
don't
not
know.
Now, here is the trick. A person who deals in second-hand vehicles or pre-owned vehicles can only guarantee the car or condition, the car's condition up to a certain level, because he or she wouldn't know what could have actually happened to the car before it was actually, purchased from whoever, sold it to the dealership, who would in turn actually sell it to a consumer.
But isn't it the dealer's responsibility to check?
That's what I'm saying. They would only guarantee you or warrant that the car is free of defects for, let's say maybe they'll say 30,000 kilometers or 3 months or 6 months. So it would not be a common law warranty that you would get when you purchase a brand new product, because the seller cannot guarantee that the car is free of defects.
But you saying they have to put some kind of guarantee.
There is some kind of guarantee.
And they must specify it in terms of kilometers.
Yes.
So, but that would give you an indication.
It will give you, I think it still gives you a little bit of peace of mind. Because
it gives you an indication that actually I don't trust this car for more than 30,000 kilometers.
That is why I won't give you a 12 months warranty.
Okay.
Like the warranty that would get when you pay a new
I'm glad you used the word warranty there, because I do second-hand car or pre-owned vehicles carry a warranty of any kind.
That is the warranty that the dealership would transfer to a consumer. A guarantee and a warranty, there's not much difference.
Right.
Yeah, because you warrant or you guarantee that this car, according to my own assessment, could travel for 30,000 kilometers without giving you any problem.
So if it gives me problems
if it gives you problem before that, bring it back. Or maybe 3 months, whichever comes first. Then in that period, you can see that it's a very short period of time. That it's well and good to actually purchase this car, but I can only guarantee you or warrant that if it gives you any problem within 30,000 kilometers, as against 100,000 kilometers, then I should be able to actually fix it.
So as a consumer, if the warranty or guarantee is for a short period, the alarm bells should be going off.
Obviously, but generally that's what you would get if you purchase a second-hand vehicle, because fair enough, the person who sells that car cannot attest to the car actually being perfect and free of defects. If he happens to actually sell it to a consumer, because you remember there are latent defects that you cannot see, because it's not coming from the production line, and I can't say the clutch plate was actually replaced 3 months ago, or just very recently, because it's the word of mouth that you get from the person who sells you.
No, but before we go there, Gauteng consumers, afternoon, Rosemary. I'm an owner of a Ford Cougar which I bought cash, and with this Cougar saga that went on, they actually refused to refund me or to swap for another car. Then after that, I've just been encountering a lot of problems with the car, and yet they still refuse to swap the car out, and now they are offering me 170,000 Rand for the car, and I paid almost 450,000 for the car. What do I do?
Seems like a
Gauteng Consumer Affairs issue.
Yeah. I cannot give an outright answer on air, because I would be answering on the face of what you have just, read out. But I would suggest we sit down and, check all the documents, scrutinize this matter, and then give, a very good, advice as to what
Advocate Fati Manamela from Gauteng Consumer Affairs on air. Now, here's your opportunity. Where does Gina send this all the stuff that you need to?
She can send it to our office. Consumer Affairs office. We are 56 Elof Street. 011344.
When did you move?
We have moved offices.
Yeah, but that's why I'm saying, when did you move?
Yeah, we're at 56 Elof Street, Umnoto House. It's just, on the other side of Gandhi Square.
Okay.
Yeah, 355 8000 is our number. She could also send it by email to consumer@gauteng.gov.za.
Someone checks this email every day.
Yeah, we've got a 24-hour turnaround time.
Oh, okay.
In respect of receipt and acknowledgement of complaints, and then we will allocate it to, the people that are best positioned to actually deal with it.
Okay.
We work very closely also with Mioza, which is Motor Motor Industry Ombuds of South Africa, who specializes in motor vehicle related cases. This one issue could also be one of those that the NCC had actually dealt with, but generally the NCC would refer those cases to MIOSA as their investigation arm, because they are an accredited ombuds office that actually deals with consumer related issues. But our first port of call
is your
us,
offices,
and then we'll diagnose the issue, do a preliminary investigation. If it gets too technical, then we'll refer to the technical experts who would actually deal with it.
And you've got all those?
Yes, we've got all those. We've got their addresses, we've got their contact. It's people that we, liaise with on a daily basis.
Kofifi community, Advocate Fati Manamela is one of those people that I regard as from the golden era of government. And when I talk about the golden era, I'm talking about that era, which was literally the golden era. Yeah. So when he says that they will deal with it, I do believe they will deal with it. Yes. So Gina, please send whatever information you have. In fact, my advice to you is do a narrative, a chronological narrative of your engagements with your car dealer, when you reported it, what the issues have been, because it means they can expedite your case that much quicker. If possible, if you've got any communication via email or even SMSs or WhatsApp, include those, because that becomes part of the sequence of events. So it helps them also. We've done that one. I've sent my concern to the Ombudsman and no response. But you didn't send it to Gauteng Consumer Affairs. Send it to Gauteng Consumer Affairs. Their number 355-8000 or at 56 Elof Street, Umnoto House, or your email address, consumer@gauteng.gov.za. You can actually even send it to my email address. I'll send it to the right guys. It's Fati, F-A-T-I, .manamela, M-A-N-A-M-E-L-A @gauteng.gov.za. Gina, this is the boss, huh? So if you're sending it to him, you're sending it to the boss. So please send everything to Fati's direct email or to the general one, consumer@gauteng.gov.za. Please do that, because this is an important matter. Now, we were talking about what must be in that warranty when you're buying that second-hand vehicle. Now, there's a number of things that go with second-hand vehicles. For example, whose responsibility is it to make sure that this vehicle doesn't have a crime attached to it? For example, stolen vehicle or incorrect VIN numbers and all of that.
The dealership.
And is there some kind of declaration that they must make for you to see? Because if I get stopped by the police, I'm the one that's driving a stolen vehicle.
Yeah, very true, Rose. And I think that's a very critical question that you have. We receive quite a number of cases where people say, but now the car was actually stolen. And generally, those are the kind of, cases that you get when you deal with, your corner dealerships that are not really that much well accredited.
But how do I check that this dealership
they must
is
check
also... Okay, that's another question. We'll come back to it. Let's deal with the stolen, checking that my car is above board.
Yeah. Let me start off with their responsibility.
Okay.
They must check, one, that the car is not stolen. Because remember, with second-hand goods, imagine a swap shop where you receive goods from people, as second-hand goods. How do you know that those goods are actually stolen? There's a law that deals with second-hand goods. I think it's Second Goods Act. You are required to actually clear those goods of any possible, theft, or you must have checked with the police as to whether they've been stolen or not. You must do that search and make sure that when you sell this car to somebody else, it's cleared of those things.
So the onus is on the dealer.
The onus is on the dealership. Because I may be presenting you an Uno that I have stolen somewhere, and then I sell it to you as a dealership for 20,000 rands. You can't just accept it without actually getting a clearance certificate from the police that the car has not been stolen.
So do they actually get a clear?
They must get a clearance.
Must I, as a buyer, demand a police clearance certificate?
You should.
I must.
You must.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. They must actually guarantee that the car is not stolen. So that you get what we call vacant possession. No one with a better title should come back to say, but that is my car. You are the one with the best title. Once you get this car, you have full title of ownership in respect of the vehicle, and then you are freed from somebody else's claim who may actually be coming to say, no, but this is my car, it was stolen. So it must give you vacant possession. That's what it's called in terms of
Okay, so now we've determined that 1, the warranty must stipulate how long my car is guaranteed for.
Yeah.
2, I must get a police clearance certificate stating that I'm the only owner of this car, basically in layman's terms. Now, the warranty, I forgot to go back to that, the warranty. Do they state what the warranty... Okay, when they state, for example, that it's up to 30,000 kilometers, do they state against what?
Yes. They would state, as I've indicated, every case will be determined according to its own circumstances. If they want to specifically, because sometimes you find somebody else telling you by way of mouth, which has got to be backed up by papers to say, but the gearbox is new. Are you saying the gearbox is new? That could be a marketing ploy.
Yes.
So if you say the gearbox is new, when was it reconditioned or exchanged or repaired? Now, you must give me a warranty in respect of that, so that if it packs up, then I must go to... Remember, even with regards to repairs, you've got a warranty in respect of those repairs. So that if it packs up, I must go to XYZ gearbox repairs and then say, this gearbox was only reconditioned last month and it has just packed up. Then they must actually make good of my complaint. So you must specifically state, because if you give a general guarantee, then it would include even probably tires and whatever things that you cannot guarantee. So they must stipulate
in the guarantee they are guaranteeing.
Exactly.
And then if they don't guarantee something in particular, you have the right to ask why aren't you guaranteeing, for example, the engine. And then they have the onus is on them to explain.
Exactly. Because obviously when you receive a car as a dealership from somebody, you do just a routine check in respect of, are the shocks okay? Are the brakes okay? Is the engine running? Is the gearbox okay? All those other things. So you should be able to actually, attest to the fact that these things are actually in good running order. You check the service book history. That would also give some kind of a story that the car is routinely being, maintained. It's in good running order and all that.
So it's advantageous to have the service book as well.
Yes, the service book would actually tell you the life
of that vehicle.
This car, in respect of routine maintenance. And obviously, when it goes for service, if they pick up something else, they should be able to actually, repair or replace that. And that would actually also be in the in your service book. So the service book at face value would tell you as a consumer that the car has been well maintained, it has been routinely serviced, and then that it's in good running order. At least that in itself would actually give you, peace of mind. Over and above that, if there are other things that are purportedly new, because the dealership will tell you, no, this is new and whatever, and all that, he or she must actually give you a guarantee in respect of those recently repaired things or recently replaced, stuff on the vehicle. So you have to actually, ask a lot of questions, because once you leave that floor and then you experience problems and you have not asked questions that were actually relevant, it becomes now a bit of a problem in respect of, second-hand vehicles and all that.
Advocate Fati Manamela, Gauteng Consumer Affairs. Now, where was I going with this one? The police clearance certificate. Now, we live in a society where, unfortunately, we have some unscrupulous people. and we know that they can get fake
Yeah.
police clearances. Can I say to the dealer, give me that clearance and I'm going to the police station to check?
Exactly. Exactly. In fact, that's what I did a couple of years ago after I got this car from somebody in Brakpan.
You went very far for your car.
Then I went to, you don't take the dealership
Their
word,
word,
for it. Well, and as you have rightly mentioned, there are those that are just unscrupulous and just want to get the quick buck and all that. But I think there's a lot of homework on the part of the consumer that has got to be done, even after he had, guaranteed all those things. You go to the police and you get the car checked, the VIN number and whatever and all that. It was not a 13 or whatever and all those things. You check those things and you get an assurance that the car. Remember, even the color change, you have to report it to police.
Oh, okay.
You may find that the car was green and now it's sold white. And then now it doesn't actually match with the VIN number and the description of the vehicle.
Okay.
So those things you must actually check. And even after they have guaranteed all those beautiful things and you can drive the car for 30,000 kilometers or 3 months, go to AA, Automobile Association. Ask the guys there to do a technical check on the vehicle.
But now, how do I do it unless I've paid for it, the AA check?
You pay for it, obviously. It's a service.
I'm saying, but I've already bought the car.
Yes.
What if it turns out to be a lemon? Now, this is
that's where
car.
now you go back. That's where now you'll get recourse. You say, Mr. X, this is the car I bought. You guaranteed all these things are new and blah, blah, whatever. The car is in good running order. I took it for a technical check at the AA. And this is the report that I got. I think you sold me a lemon. And that's where now you actually have got to, fight, for your rights as a consumer to say the car's sale was actually misrepresented.
It's actually fraud.
And it was fraudulent. And then things were just, a promise that were not actually in the vehicle and all that. And at least you have got a case to actually present to say, but, I have got to actually get this car actually fixed or I must get my money back.
So there's actually a lot of homework I've got to do before I buy a vehicle.
Exactly, especially with second-hand vehicles.
Now, when I buy a new vehicle, it's standard procedure that they let me test drive the car. But second-hand dealerships... Can I insist that I want to test drive?
By all means, in fact, those are the cars that should be tested. Those are the cars that you should be tested. I've done it most of the time. Even if you buy it from, privately from somebody else, just get this guy, take you a drive and then drive it yourself, feel, the handle, how it takes the curves and the corners and all that, how it brakes, there's stuff that is rattling, check those things. I mean, take the car. In fact, second-hand cars have got to be taken for a test drive. Yeah.
Okay, so it's within my rights.
It's within your rights. Before I buy this thing, I need to take it for a ride. Let's just drive around the block or let's drive to Pretoria and come back. But you do that before you put your money.
The test drive.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they agreed with it. I mean, who could actually deny you, that when you're a potential buyer and then, But if he refuses with the test drive, then you say, sorry, I'll check next door. There's something that they're hiding. Yeah.
Okay. So there's all this homework I've got to do now. I've got to make sure that this car isn't stolen. I've got to, if I've already bought it, I can drive out of there and go straight to the AA.
Check if it's technically sound.
So they can't say I'm the one that messed it up. Go straight away, get the AA. There's a small fee. I think it's about 500 rand or something. It's well worth it.
Yeah, it's well
worth it. Check the car. If I'm not happy, I say I bought this car last week. Take your lemon back. And if they don't want to take their lemon back, Gauteng Consumer Affairs
will go on their case. You can give them the chance to actually repair whatever has been diagnosed to be not well on the vehicle. Always give them the chance. Give them the benefit of the doubt. And you can still go back after they have repaired that to make sure that. Remember, you need peace of mind. You don't want to get stuck driving from here to Nelspruit or to Botswana and all that. So at least you must have some proof to say this car, is worth, the money that you have actually paid for.
Okay. Now, I did say that I do want to talk about the higher purchase.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's all HP or just furniture.
Yeah.
This extended warranty issue, because this is something that's actually been in the media quite a bit recently.
Yeah.
We'll come back to the cars, but I'm trying to steal time from the cars, because what is this extended warranty? Because somebody, when they heard that you were coming in today, actually asked me to raise this matter with you.
Yeah.
They're saying because it pushes the price up.
Yeah. Look, it's an option that you have to exercise. Personally.
So it's an option.
Yeah.
But isn't that where the problem comes in? Because these stores make it look like it's part of...
No, it's not. I think it's a marketing gimmick. They market it very harshly and they pressurize customers to actually buy it. They show you all the good thing about it and all that. Every product depends on how you actually handle it. Why would I buy an extended warranty on the sofa? Because if you sit on the sofa, generally it will wear, it will tear, it will sag. It will reach its span of life. Yeah, it's normal wear and tear. But what they're saying is that over and above the warranty that you get, that is warranty that you have been given under common law, the one that we spoke about, the manufacturer's warranty.
Okay, now we've got a warranty and then we've got an extended warranty. Yeah.
So the warranty that you get from the shop when you purchase that fridge,
so that fridge comes with its own warranty.
Yes, it is attached to the product. It's 2 years. Let's say maybe it's 2 years.
Okay.
It could be 12 months. So what they're saying is that for 2 years, if this thing gives you problems, we'll repay it for free of charge.
And that comes automatically.
Yes, it's automatic. It's there. It's built into the product
by
itself,
the manufacturer.
By the manufacturer. Now they say on the 25th month, if it happens to break, just generally break, not because you have misused it or abused it, then we can't repay it. You'll have to
you'll
pay 450 rands if the repairs turn out to be that much.
Okay.
But now they say to give you a convenience, we can, after the expiry of 24 months, give you an extended warranty for a cost.
But
so that's why you buy the warranty. Now you buy the warranty for a period of, let's say, maybe 12 months. And it's X amount of money. What it means is that over and above what you had as a common law warranty for 24 months, we will still repair your fridge even after it had broken post 24 months, but you would have actually paid a fee that covers that period of 12 months.
So basically, they are profiteering now because I have a warranty in those 12 months, but I'm paying this extended warranty on top of that.
In all likelihood, that fridge may not actually even break.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But also I'm paying on top of an existing warranty.
You pay on top of an existing warranty just to extend the life of the warranty.
They don't say you'll only start paying after, what did you call it? The natural warranty.
Yeah, the common law warranty.
The common law one.
Yeah, that comes with the product.
So you don't only start paying after that warranty has expired. You pay while the common law one is already in existence.
Exactly. They say this fridge carries a warranty of 24 months.
They probably don't.
You are at the shop floor. You're speaking to a salesperson. Said, 24 months. Okay, that's fine. That's pretty long enough for me too. They say, but we have an extended warranty that we can actually sell to you over and above the 24 months. Then you ask, how long is that warranty for? And they say 12 months. And they say, how much is it? They say maybe 350 rands. I'm just making an example. So you purchase, what it's saying is that 24 months plus 12 months will be 36 months. So you have a 36 month warranty. But you'd find that
of those
in that period, months, you don't actually even need to, repair that fridge.
But also within those 36 months, 24 months are actually free.
Free, yeah, exactly.
But I'm paying now.
But you're paying for that one post 24 months.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I'm paying it for 36 months.
No, you're paying for 12 months. You pay. Remember, you've got the 24 months that is built in.
Yeah.
That you don't pay a cent
right.
for. Now they're saying, should it happen that after 24 months, your fridge breaks, we will repair it for free, provided you would have paid in advance a warranty amount that we sell to you for 750 rands.
So not only am I going to pay for that, but they're also earning advance interest.
Exactly. So it gets built in, it gets capitalized into.
And now if you're buying it on credit, it actually inflates your monthly payments that much more. So they're earning interest on the HP, they're earning interest on the so-called extended warranty.
Because it gets capitalized in the contract.
Yes.
Yeah. That's why I'm saying it's
profiteering.
It's actually an option. You may. I mean, you are not forced to actually buy it.
No, but the thing is, it's such a hard sell.
It's a hard sell. That's why I'm saying the way it's actually been marketed and how consumers are pressured.
And often we don't understand.
Exactly.
Often we actually don't understand that there's an existing warranty already.
Exactly.
I mean, I've fallen foul of that.
Yeah. There's an existing warranty of 24 months or 12 months, whichever the case may be, but they sell you another one for another period for which you are not covered. But remember, that one also has got its own conditions and it's got its own exclusions.
Provided, yes.
You may not mishandle the product. For all intents and purposes, you must make sure that the product is in good order. You don't just, deliberately, cause any breakages on it.
And they determine what deliberate might be.
So people do not understand that the warranty carries conditions. It's not just automatic, because even if you enjoy that 12-month warranty after your 24-month warranty has elapsed, you still have got conditions within which you must actually adhere to.
Because there'll be certain components, for example, that they won't replace.
Exactly.
And you haven't read that.
Exactly.
And that's what happened with me. I mean, I didn't know my household insurance covered my appliances.
You see, and that's a good point, Rose, that you have made, to say, but if you have now household insurance, why would you take, extended warranty? Because your products are actually covered.
Okay. I didn't even...
Yes. And you find, in that household insurance, there are instances where if it falls and it breaks, then they can actually replace it or they can actually repair it. But it's already in the premiums that you actually are paying. So it's an option that consumers should actually exercise. They mustn't be pressured to take it up. As the word suggests, it's extended warranty, but it comes at a price.
Which pushes up the cost of your entire payment.
Exactly.
Because you're actually paying it in advance.
Yeah, it gets capitalized into your agreement.
Into your contract, into the whole contract. So you are actually paying in advance. Yeah. And you're paying interest on interest.
Yeah. It's like extended motor warranty, motor plan.
It's
your
not
motor
free.
Plan is it's not free, you pay. The only convenience that you enjoy is that every time, the car breaks, not breaks, but every time the car needs service, you'll do it without actually immediately paying money. But the money would have already been, paid to the dealership.
Fati, this thing about servicing as well, what guarantee have I got that they are actually doing the things that they claim?
That's another topic because there's a lot of things that people that I personally have unearthed. That relates to the motor plan and this warranty story and all that. You should see what's actually happening, at the service floor. Why you leave your car there, and then they tell you that they'll pick you up at 4:00, which works out quite differently if you were to wait for your car and say, I'm waiting for this car. How long is it going to take you to actually service it? They say 2 hours. So why do you take a full day's time to actually do service on my car? People do not understand that the dealership or the service component of that dealership makes money out of the man hours that they generate out of servicing that car. You would find that
for the labor cost, they bill you per hour.
Yeah, once the car gets put on the skyjack, the clock starts ticking. Even if that guy actually goes for tea time, until the car gets, serviced, the parts are exchanged or repaired, and the car is taken to a car wash. It's been put on a delivery bay. When you come there at 4:00, the cost is so much higher than if you were to wait for your car, in the morning for 2 hours from 7 to 9 o'clock, you would have paid far less than what you would actually pay for 7 o'clock to 4 o'clock. So the man hours, the labor, is the one that they actually capitalize, and that's where they're making their money.
Unfortunately, Fati,
we have a lot to talk about.
We always have a lot to talk about, and time has run out. We want to thank Advocate Fati Manamela from Gauteng Consumer Affairs. He's the head honcho there, so we've been very privileged to have him. And please, all your consumer issues, don't forget consumer@gauteng.gov.za, or if you want to go physically, it's 56 Elof Street, Umnoto House, that's in the CBD, or telephone 011 355 8000. Fati, please say goodbye to our people.
Oh, thank you. I must thank you, Rose, to always invite us to actually share these experiences with consumers, and thanks so much for your audience.
Thank you.
For contagious laughter.